Hi, my name's John and welcome to the third episode of the Pride of Liverpool project, which is brought to you by the Nobby Owners Association. In this forthcoming episode, we'll be actually starting work on the Pride of Liverpool. Also, we'll be featuring the second of our cameo interviews, and this week we're interviewing Alex Griffiths. Alex is the son of Mike Griffiths, who was the previous owner of our particular boat, but also the brother of Don Griffiths, both of whom were instrumental in developing the Nobby Owners Association back in the 80s. So initially, the Pride of Liverpool project subcommittee of the Nobby Owners Association had a site meeting down on board, and there we planned out what our future work programme was going to entail. And so we're not holding it hard and fast to that, but it gives us a general framework of how we're going to approach the project. In developing the work programme, we had to make some decisions about what we were going to do first, and it was agreed that before we erect a shelter, we probably need to do quite a bit of the dismantling, and especially to remove the engine ready for refurbishment. In the dismantling, we started off removing the beam shelf, the rotten deck sections, any internal divisions and bulkheads, and fixtures and fittings. The fixtures and fittings and bolts and screws have all gone into a bucket for reuse at a later date. These are A, very expensive items, and B, we want to be as environmentally conscious as possible. It's pointless throwing good stuff away to buy new stuff.
It's good to see you, Alex. And how's life in France at the moment?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's at the moment it's 20 degrees, so it's nice.
Lovely. I don't think it's
warm.
quite that here, as you can see from my my outfit. But there it is. So how did you become involved in all of this with the Nobby Club?
Well, my father, Michael Griffiths, he's one of the co-founders of the Nobby Association.
And so, yeah, so that would have been around about 1987 when the whole thing kicked off.
Yeah, 86, 87, because it all started in the Coburg pub when I was a boy. Like, yeah.
Oh, I've been to the Coburg several times actually, because we had a before the Nobby race.
Yes.
We had a few gatherings there, arranged by Jackie Swainbank, of course.
Oh, yes.
And you may know that Rodney's just passed away as well.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm in contact with Sue. Yeah, it's very sad news. Very sad news.
Yes, indeed, it
Lovely
is.
guy.
It
Yeah,
is.
lovely guy.
So we were really put together by
Mr.
John,
Hudson.
and so you were going to tell me, I think, the story of Arthur Alexander.
Yes. Well, Arthur Alexander was bought. My dad bought it.
Sorry. I'd better just say for the benefit of people who don't know, that Arthur Alexander is the boat that John is busy restoring at the moment. In fact, I saw him last Saturday, and so he's now waiting for an electrician to come wire up.
Wire up there, rewire. Yeah, my dad bought the Arthur Alexander. It was sunk in mud, obviously. He floated it up on 45-gallon drums, brought it to shore, and he, corked it up a little bit and patched it up, and obviously brought it back down to Liverpool.
What kind of condition was the boat in? Because
the boat was in a bad condition when he first got it, because it had been submerged for quite a long time.
And I mean, to me, it sounds quite astonishing, because there's a boat that's just sunk in the the Fiddler's Ferry marina
Okay.
in the canal there.
Mhm.
And I walk past there and I think to myself, how would you salvage that? Because of course, you know, putting airbags and things in.
Well, he strapped 45-gallon drums to it, got it up a little bit above the water line, a little bit above the water, and then obviously pump it
Yes.
out. Yeah.
And how long did that take him?
It took to take the water out of it. Or,
The whole salvage operation.
yeah, the whole salvage was nearly a week. It took him. Yeah.
Lord. And
Bit by bit. They had to dig the boat out because obviously it was stuck fast in the mud. Yeah, so dig it out and obviously float it and bring it into shore and beach it really over.
yes.
Yeah, up in Fleetwood. Yeah.
Oh, so it was up in Fleetwood.
I think it was Fleetwood. I think. You might have to edit that. It might have been Maryport.
Well, the reason I ask is because I taught in Fleetwood College for many years, and my boat I used to run out of Schiphol, and
Oh yes.
so I know that part of the world fairly well. Although, mind you, for much of the time, my own boat was spent being restored, you know, and like
Yeah.
all these things, these jobs tend to go on forever. So, how long did it take him to get the boat up and running?
Well, he patched it up and brought it back down to Liverpool. I would say approximately 18 months to 2 years.
Good Lord, yeah.
It's quite a lot because you had to put all complete new ribs on one side. All the ribs were broken.
And I imagine this featured pretty prominently in your childhood.
Yes, I've been brought up in boats all my life. I've got like my uncle, Donald Griffiths. You know, he was the owner of the Ethel. So my grandfather and great grandfather. Yeah, so I used to have a fishing boat myself, but I found it quite expensive, and I moved from Liverpool down to Poole in Dorset in 1983. Then
Poole is a lovely place because you've got that lovely harbour.
yes, it's a natural harbour. Yeah.
So one of the things I've always wanted to try personally would be to do something like that. But of course, as you get older, your dreams go further and further away from you because you suddenly realize how cold and unpleasant it is, and you realize that perhaps you want to spend those mornings.
Surely in the Novice Association, isn't there nobody doing any commercial fishing? I think it's only Andrew, isn't it? Andrew doing it.
Not that I know of, but certainly there's no one fishing under sail. But I think it would be a very interesting history project to do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And certainly with the Pride of Liverpool Project, I think that well, I mean, I know that what we're going to do with her is she's going to be rigged up as a half-decker, and I think that it would be, I think personally, of course, that it would be a useful thing to do to have a bash. I mean, you don't need a big net, and things like trawl boards are, you know, they're all small gear, one man.
Yeah, it's only like a 2 foot square, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
it should be pretty. It can't be too difficult to arrange, and I think it would be worth trying.
But yeah, to be in sailing for many years, and obviously every year. It was a small affair, which was the Nobby Owners Association, to have a race down to Garston Buoy and back. And then obviously the Liverpool, I think it was the Liverpool Festival, River Festival started to get involved.
Yes.
And that's where it really kicked off then. You know, my dad, you know, he went all the way down through the Biscay. He went to Brest with the I think it was the Arthur Alexander. I don't know whether it's the Arthur Alexander or the Empress. He took her to Brest, which was a gaffer's.
That's right. There's a big,
big
festival there.
Yeah. He went to Cork and then sailed from Cork to Brest.
Wow, that's quite a way.
It is quite a way, yeah. And which he's one of these guys. You know, he brought a boat back, you know, on his own from. Where did he go? He went all the way along the Med. You know, he was in one of the Greek islands.
Wow.
And he brought it through the Med, went up into Montpellier, and then come all the way through to northern France. I used to meet him then. I used to drive to Dover and then come over to the man, and then he'd sail it round. Yeah, so he's done quite a lot of sailing. He's gone through the Bay of Biscay, both ways.
Wow.
So he's done a fair bit of sailing, but he's one of those who used to be on his own. And he was on his own, and probably two of them, and he couldn't even bloody swim. That's I used to say to him, he knew his boat, and take my hat off to him for being an adventurer, really. You know what I mean? So, when he passed, I had the Arthur Alexander, I had the Rose, and I had the other boat called True Love. So I ended up with 3 boats, which was in Liverpool. And obviously I lived down Poole, and I thought to myself, well, I couldn't afford any of these, so I ended up selling them, and obviously better off like John Hudson, Clive, who took the Rose, the other boat went up to Scotland. I didn't have time at all. So now,
I think it's a very labour-intensive process. Thinking about
it is.
The happiest that a sailor is, or boat owner is the day he buys the boat, and then of course the day that he sells the boat as well. So
I think
price.
I think the day that when he buys it, it's like Marmite. Yeah, they love it or hate it. Because I think especially a traditional boat, because it's like the fourth bridge. Like once you start, you finish. Once you finish, start again. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
It's like anything. It's a classic, at the end of the day. But and this is why when my father died, my daughter loved the Arthur Alexander. She actually adored it. And where I lived in Poole, had a big front lawn, and she said, "Oh, Dad, why don't you just bring the Arthur Alexander down and put it on the lawn?" I said, "Well, darling," I said, "it's lovely." I said, "But all I can do is paint it." I said, "That's it."
Yes. No. I think that there is a definite romance to boat owning. Unfortunately, there are lots of people who still keep the boats going, but they are very costly things to maintain.
I must admit, though, Jonathan, John Hodgson himself, he's. I've been over there a couple of times to go and see the Arthur Alexander, and I give him credit, the way the boat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and and he's got his heart on it. Which makes it better for him because obviously he's a carpenter, isn't he?
Yes. Well, I think if you have those skills, that's very good. I mean, I was there a couple of weeks ago, sitting there, and he was showing me around, and I was looking at what he'd done, and the work that he's put into that boat. It's truly phenomenal. He was showing this last weekend. He was showing Chris Ashdown and myself the bits that had come off the boat, and so he's really put a lot of love and effort into bringing up to where she is now. And as I said earlier, he's really looking at now he needs an electrician to get the wiring done, but it's, you can see how he's keeping the tradition alive. And it's true that what they say, it's like old boats, like any old thing. You don't own them. You merely keeping them for someone else, for the next owner, posterity.
But I think John's been on that boat now for about 5.5 years, and it's really taken his shape now. And it's some of the stories when I was on the boat, like where the wood come from. It was from a blitzed warehouse.
Yes.
And he's got lovely, he's got lovely workshop. He's got everything there. And I said, Christ, he hasn't got long to put it in the water down the River Douglas. But he did take it. He said, because obviously it's a shallow, it's not a wide, river. So I said, he's saying about the bowsprit. I said, just pull her up,
Well, that's what Sarah Ann does. Sarah Ann's bowsprit does that, which is, I think, very, very, very handy. And you're quite right. He has put a lot of effort into keeping that boat, going. But then I think all of these things would never have happened had your dad not made the effort to resurrect the boat in the first
Yeah,
place.
that's right. Yeah, and
So it's a good thing in many ways.
it is a good
Got
one
this
because
tradition.
it's what's preserved now. It's otherwise it would have just got smashed up anyway. You know
Yeah.
yourself. I've just been paddleboarding this morning down the Charente, and there's all these old boats half sunk.
Yeah.
And for anybody who can do woodwork, or anybody can do woodwork, and you got that like vision.
Yes.
There's a hell of a lot of old wooden boats you just left in the yards because people can't touch them. Right, Jonathan, it's been lovely to talk to you, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, thank you.
No.
And then what we'll do is we'll make an arrangement for May, and we'll talk again.
Well, definitely. I've already told him anyway. So
fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, go and enjoy the rest of that lovely 20 degrees. It's sunny over here at the moment, but it's about 2 degrees.
Well, it's 20 degrees here in the afternoon, but this morning it's like -1 this morning. But the sun come up, but
Yes.
6 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like poof.
Wow. Yeah. Well, as I said, it's a bit on the.
I got my t-shirt on.
Yeah. Well, I'm in my loft at the moment, which is warming up. But this morning my feet were very cold up here.
Yeah.
But there it is. Right. I better go. So
Thank you very
much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Goodbye.
There we go. Thank you very much for watching. If you like, please subscribe, and don't forget to support through Patreon if you feel so motivated to. You can pick up the links at the bottom of this page. And also a future date for your diary, the 26th of June, Saturday the 26th of June from 2 p.m. onwards. We're having a fundraising barbecue here at Douglas House and down on the riverbank. And tickets can be obtained. Contact us either through the YouTube or through the Nobby Owners website. Thank you very much, and speak to you soon.